Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I'm your host, Hayden Haynes, and joined with me today is Seth Killen and Cody Hart. How are we doing, boys?
What
Oh,
it
we're doing
do?
fantastic. Football's right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready
Uh-oh.
to win
The
a
shades are
fantasy
on.
championship.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Uh-uh.
That's up to
I'm
Uh-huh.
me.
going.
That's up to me.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Cody, get out of here.
No, Cody ain't going no three-peat. I'll
Mm-mm.
do
Oh,
everything in
I'm
my
getting it.
power to make sure Cody does not win another ship.
And that's,
Yes, ma'am. I'm walking out of the store with the ship. I just
oh,
bought it.
ma'am,
No.
security. Somebody stop this man.
Security, this man stole the ship.
Oh, I'm dipping.
Just like Seth did in 2020.
Yep.
Wow. All
All
right,
what a
guys.
way
Thank you
to
for
start the
joining another
pod.
episode of the Muffed Sports Show. We got a nice little episode previewing some college football week one action and some NFL news. That's pretty much the main things we're going to get into. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to talk first about the week one slate of games. But we do want to kind of take a little victory lap because on this show last week, two of us on here made a nice prediction that a lot of people were sleeping on, and that was Georgia Tech upsetting Florida State. And you heard it
Yeah.
here on this pod.
You did. And I did not
Congratulations.
follow.
Let's go.
Me and Cody won some money last week because of that, and hopefully anybody heard that they got a chance to lock that in. But I'm telling you, Cody, that was one of the best feelings was when he made that field goal kick at the
Oh,
end. Just because not only we were winning that money, but it just feels nice to be right about a week zero bet. That was such a hard, it was a hard game to kind of to think about because it was like, oh, Florida State had the crazy year last year, but at the same time they're replacing a lot of guys that they lost, a lot of production. Then you had Georgia Tech, which we were talking about, has more offensive firepower just with their run game alone. So that came to be true. Clearly, Georgia Tech dominated the run game. They were just running the ball with both the Haynes duo. Like I mentioned, I had faith in the Haynes duo because I thought, Jamal Haynes coming back after that 1,000-yard year would be nice. And then obviously Haynes King, dual threat quarterback, he didn't turn the ball over at all. And then that's part of the reason why that they were able to win that game.
yep.
So just a great
There you go.
game, Cody. And any thoughts on that? And where does Florida State go from here?
If I'm Florida State, I mean, I'm gathering the troops and being like, hey, what are we doing? Like, what you
What we
mean,
doing?
boys? Where we going?
It's week zero. We're in Ireland and we lost
We
to
lost.
the Yellow Jackets.
Oh,
We
we're
got
bugging.
stunned.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
But
they're bugging for real, man. And now they got to bounce back and rally because guess what? On Monday night, my birthday, Labor Day, next week, they play Boston College, who
and they
has a
could get
dual threat quarterback who is quick as a hiccup, and he's going to be running around, 5'9", speedy guy, and he's going to just be putting up some numbers. But I don't know if Florida State will just kind of be as like sluggish as they were last week because I'm sure they'll be fired up, ready to go, prove the haters and officially get the first win of the season. So I'm not going to bet against them, but I will consider maybe sprinkling a little bit on Boston College to cover the spread because I think it's like at 17 right now or 16.
Oh yeah, I think they'll cover the spread easily. I think
Yeah,
it's going
Yeah,
to
I
be
like that.
closer than expected.
I can see that. But anyway, so Georgia Tech, I mean, do we think maybe it's a case of Georgia Tech's better than we think? I mean, I think me and you thought they were going to be better than people think, but is this more of a Georgia Tech being really good this year, or is it Florida State is not that good?
I think it's Georgia Tech being better because I mean, if you look at the stats from last year, Georgia Tech, their defense was there, their offense was there. I mean, they were scoring every game, but
Yeah.
their defense is what killed them last year. Is they would get in these shootouts and they couldn't hold opponents. So I mean, they lost a lot of games just by not being able to hold an offense back from getting a touchdown or scoring a field goal or something like
Yeah.
that. So
They did a
I
good job
definitely, I mean,
stopping the run.
you saw it in the game. I mean, their defense, they were getting through the O line, they were getting to the quarterback, they were getting pressure. I mean, they're
Yep.
stopping the run. I
Didn't
mean, they're
allow any
taking
deep
the field
shots.
and no deep shots. I mean, no offense, DJ couldn't hit none of them, even
Yeah.
when if they were open.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Georgia Tech's really. I think they're a
They're,
dark horse.
yeah.
They could
They
really
really
sneak up on
could. If
the.
their schedule wasn't so brutal, they could probably win about 9 or 10 games. But this year, I don't know if sniff 8 or 7. I mean, they'll probably get 7, but like if you look at their schedule, it's one of the harder schedules
No, it
um,
definitely
in
is.
the conference, but probably the country too. So, but I'm high on Georgia Tech. I think that duo, the Haynes duo, is going to carry them through a lot of these games. Their defense looked better. I think their O line was mashing the front of the Florida State Seminoles that everybody said on game day was the best D
One of the
line in the
best.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They looked so bad, man. I mean, I know it's early in the year. You got some transfers, but I mean, Georgia Tech's O line was basically just mauling them. Play after play
And can we talk about that one linebacker that Georgia Tech had
with the big
that
neck roll.
looks like just an absolute dog out
Can't
there?
turn can't turn his head more than like 5%
Uh-uh.
right and left, but I mean, he's gonna hit your ass and he's gonna light you up because he's one of those old school
I love it.
like a Urlacher kind of guy. Like
Just
he's just a
headhunting.
menace. Yeah.
Hey, Hayden, try and yeah, there you go. I was gonna say move your cam a little bit up, just because
Okay.
your eyes were getting yeah, perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
there we go. So yeah, that was the recap of the week 0 game that we were all hype about, and
Great game.
obviously we're going to talk about the week 1 slate. Starts tomorrow. When or probably going to be today for the people that are listening whenever this is
Mhm.
uploaded, but tomorrow for us. So Thursday, I do know off the top of my head. What do we have, Cody? That's the biggest game. Probably Minnesota, North Carolina,
Yeah,
at
that's
Minnesota, and
that's the one I'm looking forward to.
it's a pick 'em kind of game right now. I don't think it's but like
Yeah.
a 1.5 point spread or something. I know a
You
lot of
wanna
Mhm.
you
huh?
wanna send me the picture that we have
Yeah,
so
I
I can
can
put
do
it up
that.
here?
And let's see. So that's Minnesota, North Carolina tomorrow. Also, we have North Dakota State and Colorado. Should be a fun game and a lot of points being scored because I know that North Dakota State's a solid team. Should have a good offense this year. But
Mhm.
there's Jacksonville State and Coastal Carolina. I know that's another one.
I think
Um,
Jacksonville State will get the upset.
Well, they're actually, I
Are they
think they might
favored?
be favored by a couple of points. I think it's like 2.5 right now. They're favored. So, but yeah, Coastal
Well, not really
Carolina,
upset, but I think Jacksonville State will win.
yeah, it's at home for them. So, anyways, we're gonna dive into that, give you some more our predictions, but let's go in order starting tomorrow with our predictions, and let's talk about first the Minnesota and North Carolina game. This one, we're not gonna be able to talk about it too much, just because neither of these teams are in the top 25. There's nothing, not too much hype around both of these teams. But I want to say, obviously, North Carolina lost Drake May. Some people are
Yep.
writing them off, but I feel like they could go to Minnesota and get this week 1 dub. But I'm honestly probably going to roll with Minnesota just because at home to start the year. I feel like they can get that week 1 dub, Cody. But I don't know if you have anything to say about that. I don't really know too much about either of these teams, but I'm going to roll Minnesota.
Well, I know North Carolina. I don't know if they've come out yet with it. I haven't checked or haven't seen it, but I know they're in between a QB battle right now,
Oh
and I
yeah,
believe it's their starter. What I've been hearing, what's his name, Max Johnson, I think is
yeah,
there.
Max Johnson. Yep,
And I mean, he's not bad, but I think
the Texas
just
A&M
like you said, I
transfer,
think
right?
at home, I think Minnesota, that crowd, I think that place is going to be packed for some football, and I think it's just going to be a loud crowd. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
I
kind
mean,
of
I,
like
I
I'm
don't really know too much about either team, like I said, but
yeah,
I'm going specifically with Minnesota to start the year at home with a dub.
yeah, I like that. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you like I go both ways on that game honestly, but like you said, at home Minnesota, I'll get that.
Right. Okay. And then just real quick, another game on Thursday night is North Dakota State and Colorado. I think right now the line's at Colorado -9.5. I know a lot of people are hammering that. They think Colorado can win by 10 or more. I was kind of initially leaning towards that, and now I'm starting to hear, I don't know, that might be kind of a tough one because North Dakota State is going to be pretty good, and Colorado's O line and D line are still not the greatest. So I have been seeing a lot of people taking the over of the points. It was at 58.5. Now I just checked it's at 60.5. So it's moving up. There must be anticipating that this is going to be a
A
shootout.
shootout, yeah.
Yeah,
So I would probably, if I'm just a betting guy, I would probably just go with the over in the points, maybe even just tease it down to 58.5 like it was. But if
yeah.
anything, I'll have to say is that this should be a close game. I don't know what to expect from Colorado's defense. I do think their offense should be good. We know Travis Hunter's the guy on offense and defense. but Shadur's going to be running around making plays. They got good running back. So I feel like I'm going to go Colorado, but honestly, I will say this is probably going to be something like give me like a 38-30 or something, maybe like 38-28 or something like that. But let me think on it more. But for now, I'm going to lean Colorado, but I definitely think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got the same mindset on it. I think it's going to be a shootout, like you said, North Dakota State. They've all like the past couple of years you've heard about them. Like they're usually pretty good in their conference, and I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I just don't think they'll be able to match up with Colorado and be able to kind of keep up with them.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think just by the signs of the total points kind of inching up a little by little, I think that's
Yeah.
kind of just screams like, hey, this is about to be like you said, 38-28 type beat.
Yeah.
Uh, I think. I mean, I got Colorado, but I think it could be closer than expected because I have no clue how that defense is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, for both of these teams, honestly, but I mean, I'm not expecting much from North Dakota State's defense, which I'm no offense to them. I know they're usually good, but I
Yeah.
just think, I mean, Colorado, I think they'll be able to outscore them, like you said.
And the next game I was going to talk about for Thursday is a little bit of Alabama football talk here, and that's Jacksonville State versus Coastal Carolina. We
Hmm.
mentioned it earlier. I think it's a 2.5 point spread. Jacksonville State's favorite. I don't really know too much either about these teams other than the fact that it's Coastal Carolina coming off of losing their quarterback, Grayson
Hmm.
McCall. And I think that obviously, anytime you're replacing a guy that produced a lot for you, especially calling your offense, directing the offense, I would say that it's going to be tough, especially going into a crazy atmosphere, which we say crazy, but for those kind of schools, like it should be rowdy for JSU, week one at home at night on a Friday or Thursday night. So I would probably go JSU, but it could be a last second field goal kind of game. I don't really think it's going to be like anyway too lopsided. So yeah, give me JSU.
Yeah, I like JSU as well at home. Like you said, Grayson McCall now at NC State. That'll hurt any team losing a guy like that. But yeah, give me Jacksonville State at home at night. I think that place it should be pretty good crowd there. I would
Yeah,
say so. It could be a little rowdy. So this could go anyway. But like I did with the Colorado, North Dakota State, I like the person at home. Give me and the Minnesota game, North Carolina game. Like I like Jacksonville State at home. I think they'll be able to get it done under
yeah,
the lights at night. Big game.
yeah.
Give me Jacksonville State, hometown team. Actually, like an hour away from where we grew up.
Yeah,
I
and
like it.
moving on to Friday, it's really just one pretty decent. Or actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. It's two good games. There's not one on this graphic here, but the one game that's not on this graphic is, I believe, TCU and Stanford.
Yep,
Now,
10:30 at night at Stanford.
if you're a real menace, you'll be watching that game on a 10:30 Friday
Well,
night.
I'll be up.
But we're gonna be up for that. Don't worry. And I'm gonna be looking into that, and I might sprinkle a little bit on that over on the total because I was watching. Apparently, these offenses are gonna be a little high scoring this year, and a lot of the people thinking out the gate it's gonna be a shootout, just like the North Dakota State Colorado game. So that's another thing to watch out is the points. I wouldn't really lean either team one way too much because I just don't really know too much about them, but I have been able to tell that it looks like the offenses are the strengths of both teams. Looks like they're returning some key special, or some weapons on their offense for both and quarterback. So I would say that would probably be my only take in that game. I don't really know. I would probably just lean TCU just because of recency. Like what have you done lately? And they've been pretty relevant compared to Stanford. So I'd go TCU.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and this could be different on like whatever sports app you use. But on ESP, I'm just on the ESPN app, but they got the total at 59 and a half.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, like you said, these two teams are expected to be like pretty good offenses this year. And I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of points scored for sure. I don't know about 59 and a half, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, both teams can score in the 30s, I think. I just,
Yeah.
I know we don't know enough about these teams, but I'm just telling you from some stuff I've been watching, it looks like
Hmm.
people are thinking that the defenses aren't that great. The offense has
Yeah.
returned enough starters that are pretty solid. So I would think about maybe if I'm betting, I'd probably do that. But To win, just give me TCU because I don't know if Stanford's got the horsepower.
You know, we've been
Close.
pretty similar on these picks, but
Yeah,
not this time.
you're going
I'll take
Stan.
a I'll take Stanford. I'll take
Oh,
Stanford
they're 9.5 point underdogs, but they are at home.
at home at night, 10:30.
That'd be
Give
kind
me
of crazy.
give me Stanford with the upset game, first game of the week or first
Okay.
game of the year. I mean, started off hot for the Stanford.
All right.
Old Stanford
Cardinals.
trees.
We love the trees. Love the trees, especially in the mascot mashup back in the day.
Dude, mascot matchup. When I saw that tree pop up, I said, "That's money."
That's money. And then hit that little spin flip in the air. Oh yeah.
Yeah, nah, but I think Stanford.
Okay, you're
Yeah,
calling the upset. Okay, I like it.
I'm calling
Respect
the
it. I
upset.
respect that, man. But so going into the big games, let's really get into it now. We got officially 12 o'clock on Saturday. It's going to be in the out or in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic, Clemson and Georgia. Now they played. Me and Cody were looking at this in 2021. It was a 10-3 defensive battle, and Georgia won. And I think there was no offensive touchdowns. There was only one like scoop and score tutty or something. So this is going to probably be different than that. I would assume these teams can break or go over double-digit points each, but I am leaning towards Georgia. The line is only 13 and a half. I feel like Georgia can win by 2 touchdowns. So, it might be a little closer in the beginning, but give me Georgia to pull away in the second half and definitely win by 2 scores.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I would definitely. This game, I think I've said this for a minute now. Like before we talked, I think Georgia. I think Georgia's going to be too much for them. I think it'll be close going through, just going throughout the game, first, second quarter, going through halftime, getting into third quarter. I think it'll be pretty close, but I think Georgia kind of pulls away, maybe gets a few stops. But I mean, this is a great game. I
Yeah.
mean, this is just hard to pick, but I mean, like you. I'm leaning Georgia, maybe to even cover the spread by
Yeah.
2 scores. I could see it maybe being. I couldn't
Yeah,
tell you
and I
what the
know
score.
I know that's a popular take, but I feel like it's just
It's
gonna
hard.
happen. It's hard to like not go that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's Georgia.
Klubnik is not like a elite level quarterback. I know they got the
Yeah,
running back that's pretty good. I know their defense should be solid. Their D
Phil
line is
Maffa.
always solid. Yep, film off at running back. So I don't know, but Georgia is down a couple running backs recently, especially they've lost
Yep.
some guys and kind of like Texas. And then I know their secondary is young, just like Alabama's, but I
Mhm.
don't think Klubnik can really hurt them a lot with his arms, but with his legs a little. With Maffa, it should be a good battle in the trenches. But if Georgia really loads in the box, stops the run, and then kind of like with Georgia Tech making DJU try to beat him with his
Throw the
arm,
ball.
I don't
Yeah,
really know if they can get away with that. So I would go Georgia definitely. But yeah,
yeah.
I think we're all on the Georgia bandwagon right there at least. And then Cody, a game that we are dying to watch, and you got some money that you're going to be sprinkling on this game, and I might as well join you.
Little
I'm
cheddar
not gonna
cheese
lie,
on that thing.
we're a little bit bullish on West Virginia, and we think that at 8.5 they can cover that, and they might win outright. So we might be sprinkling the money line on West Virginia to beat Penn
I'm
State.
sprinkling it all over. I'm taking it. No,
Oh
That
god,
was gonna be one of my upsets,
yeah.
no, yeah. That's like
just because I
my.
know how much I've been hyping up West Virginia.
I
Because
know. I
tell them
know.
why.
We
Tell
got.
them why, Cody. What's the reason why West Virginia is going to win this?
Let me
Oh,
speak. Underdog of the week. I know we haven't said this segment yet, but my
but
underdog of the
no,
week.
but yeah, that's the point of this. This is when
Yeah,
it's time to bring it up. So this is it.
my underdog of the week, West Virginia. I just think I think he could be a Heisman hopeful easily, and that's Garrett Green, the starting QB at West Virginia, and I think they're going to have a really high-powered offense. And I mean, they usually tend to like have a pretty good offense in over there.
Yep.
It's just I think their defense maybe they need to step up, and I think they will. But I just don't. Penn State. I like Penn State. Don't get me wrong. I think they could make the playoffs after this game. Like
Yeah.
really, they lose 2 games. This one and the High State one, they could easily sneak in.
Yep.
But I just think West Virginia's offense might be too much at home. That place, Morgantown, West Virginia, is going to be. There's going to be an earthquake
Yeah.
happening
It's
in
gonna be
that place.
rowdy.
Like
I can't
I
wait,
think,
man.
I think they cover the spread.
Well, how
when
about that? How about that 12 o'clock slate of just Clemson, Georgia, West Virginia, Penn State to
oh,
start the
I'm
day?
That
gonna
is
have the
wild.
Octo box
Oh,
on lock.
On
It's
I
lock.
can't wait
oh,
for
it's
it.
gonna be up, and it's if someone touches the remote, gonna have to form tackle them. Okay, gonna straight up kill them. I'm sorry, but you touch the remote while college football's on, you're getting drop kicked. All right, but this is like this is what we've been waiting for,
Yep,
and it's here.
You damn right.
yep.
But
I
like
agree.
West Virginia, I think they're gonna be really good this year, and Penn State, I got to see more out of Drew Aller.
Me
I
too.
don't I don't know if he can
Yeah.
be that guy. You know,
So the story with how I'm reading a lot of these games, like we were talking about Florida State last week and their struggles, it's kind of like this storyline for me so far. Is just if you don't have a guy that I feel like is pretty damn good at throwing the ball, like he doesn't have to be elite, but
no,
if he's not a great thrower, like we're
just a
gonna
field
have
general.
I'm gonna be a little worried about it because that's what Drew Aller is. Right now, he's so inaccurate. He's got all the tools. Dude is like, it looks like Josh Allen or something, but he's just so
Yeah,
inaccurate. And I don't really love I don't love that in a game like this on the road to start the year. So I would probably lean West Virginia to cover the spread at eight and a
yeah.
half if it's like that right now. But honestly, Cody, I am going to be on the same side of this as you, and I'm officially going to lock in my prediction for West Virginia to upset Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No,
that's it.
that
That's
yeah.
really it for what you already pointed out. So, but that should
Yeah, I
be a
mean,
fun one. I
it's gonna be
can't
a
wait.
great game.
Yep, and really after this, I mean, we already know Ohio State's going to beat the hell out of Akron. Just put it nicely. Don't really know why they threw this on the graphic. We don't even got to touch on that. I mean, the spread's like
No.
48 and a half.
It's
I mean,
I
this is one of
mean,
the best teams on paper. So I don't know.
like people were calling this one of the best teams ever, and they said, let's throw Ohio State versus the Akron
Yeah.
Zips on there.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like this next one too, Texas and Colorado State. I mean, we already know who's winning that. It's Texas. This isn't even a
Hey,
big deal.
Yeah.
I will say this. I've heard that the Colorado State QB, I can't remember his name, is like he's pretty good, and they got a stud, I think, wideout that's really good. So I think Texas
Points.
A&M is gonna destroy him, but it could be
You mean
they could,
Texas?
Colorado
Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
Colorado State could put up a little points up there. If
Okay.
don't be shocked if that happens.
Interesting. Yeah. Right now, what is it? Texas is favored by 32,
Hmm
and the point total is at 60 and a half.
See, I'm
Um,
telling you, Colorado State's going to be able to score. It's just how much. I think Texas is still going to win, but don't be surprised if Colorado State comes out there and drops like 20 on them or 21, something
yeah.
like that.
That'd be kind of crazy. And obviously Bama, Western Kentucky, I'll be at that game Saturday night. I think Alabama should win by whatever, probably like I would say by at least 35 points. But
They
I mean,
winning by 100. We ain't letting them score.
I do think Western Kentucky is better than a lot of these other smaller schools. Obviously, they've been
No,
good.
they are.
So I feel like that should be a decent test. But to say all that, the bigger games are towards the night. So, but also one of them is Sunday. So the first one that we're going to touch on is Notre Dame and A&M. We've talked about many a times now, but this is our official predictions. Notre Dame on the road at A&M Saturday night, 7:30 for game day. They'll be there. But just to kind of talk about it one more time to let you guys know the storyline here. You have A&M who's got a new coach. All right, and the coach he's coming from Duke, right? And the
Mike Elko.
quarterback Mike Elko, and the quarterback for Duke last year was Riley Leonard. So he is now the quarterback for Notre Dame. So you have
Hmm
the old coach from Duke on Texas A&M, and you got the old quarterback from Duke on Notre Dame. So they're going at it. And then obviously it's just a night game in one of the loudest stadiums in the country, the 12th man. And Notre Dame is just, has a gauntlet of a schedule like they always do, being an independent school. And so this one, Cody, I'm going to be honest, it's going to be a crazy game, but I am going to go A&M just because I feel like on paper they've recruited well. They have a lot of good, well-known players. Obviously, losing some guys probably to the portal after they, had this coaching transition. But I will say, just start off the year, Notre Dame obviously has a new quarterback. It's going to take some time to adjust. So for that, and I do like A&M's quarterback and Connor Weigman or Wegman, I would say that they get the job done in a close battle, something along the lines of like 27-24, 28-23, like something like that.
No, I'm in the same boat with you. Like, uh, I really like Texas A&M in this one just because it's at home. That place is one of the most hostile places in the country. I think Notre Dame is still going to be a really good team. I think they'll be real. I think they'll make the playoffs, to be honest with you. But I think they'll lose this game by, I think it's going to be a field goal. I mean, that's the only way I can see. I think it's going to be some crazy field goal, 50-yard field goal to win it for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I like a 30-27 type something.
Okay.
This game's up in the air. I think this game could be the game of the week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I could see that. I mean, that's why Game Day picked them. I think they know that it's going to be one of the better games of the year.
Hmm.
And finally, to round out the first week of games, we have a Sunday night game because, of course, we do. We have a game every day this week, basically starting from tomorrow. And that is LSU and USC in Vegas to start out the season.
Wow.
Um, both teams are ranked. USC's 23, LSU's 13. Miller Moss is the quarterback for USC, and Nussmeyer is the quarterback for LSU. So to say all that, the line was, I believe, like 6.5 or something, maybe 5.5. LSU was favored. Now it's down to 4.5. Everybody is betting LSU, and for that reason, I'm going the prediction right now here, folks. The upset, and my underdog of the week is USC.
Dang.
USC to pull it off week one to knock off the Tigers.
I kind of like it.
I like it, but it's not happening.
Oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
My upset gotta be the Florida Miami one.
of course. How could we forget the Florida Miami game? Well, we're gonna talk about that after this one. But yeah, Cody, what's your official take on the LSU reason on why they're gonna beat USC?
I think this is going to be an absolute shootout on offense. But with all Lincoln Riley teams, where the defense at? And that's what I need to see. That's what I need to see if I'm going to be able to pick USC at any other matchups. I need, especially this type of matchup, like I need to see more on their defensive side. We know everybody knows they're going to have a stellar offense. Their offense is going to be clicking. I mean, it's a Lincoln Riley led team, but I just think LSU will be able to stop them. Unlike USC will, maybe LSU. I think LSU is going to be a really good football team this year. Garrett Nussmeyer, I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. It's just they got to be able to protect him. And they got LSU always has good weapons. So
Yeah.
like I said, I got to see more out of the USC defense. I'm not for sure what it's looking like over there, but I just need to see a little bit more. And if hopefully they prove me wrong this Sunday, but at the same time, hopefully not, because I'm picking LSU.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
I just
definitely
think
think it's a
LSU.
shootout. It's a shootout for
Yeah,
sure.
I got it being a shootout. I just like LSU's defense. That's what it boils down to for me. Is I like LSU's defense to get a couple more stops than USC's.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just going with my gut. My gut's telling me USC is gonna get it done. I feel like I gotta fade the public. Everybody's on LSU.
I
And then,
understand.
of course, with this last game we forgot to mention is the in-state rivalry, and that's ACC versus SEC, Florida and Miami. 19 Miami versus unranked Florida in Gainesville to start it out, 3:30 Saturday on ABC. And Seth just said his underdog of the week is Florida to pull it off the upset on Miami. And
Oh
honestly,
yeah.
I'm really torn. I'm not gonna lie, Cody. I'm really torn. I mean, it's like we've gone back and forth on this game for a while now, and it's really hard to throw away, Florida in this because it's like they got one of the loudest crowds in the country at week one game against a rival, and then of course what has Miami really done? So it's one of those things. It's hard for me to bet on Miami, but at the same time, I know they got the offense. They got Cam Ward. They got some wide receivers. I do like Mario Cristobal, but he has been a little sketchy as far as his in-game adjustments and play or decision making. So, and so is Napier for Florida. So I'm not really 100% confident in this take, but I will say because I just think it's going to be so desperate for Florida to win this game since their schedule gets really, really, really hard, like the hardest in the country. I'm gonna say Florida gets the job done for that reason because they're gonna be like, we have to win this game to start out the year right because if not, it's gonna all spiral out of control. Because if we don't win one of these games, when are we gonna get a win? You know.
True.
So that's what I got.
I like it.
You think I'm going with Florida?
I
You
know you're
better
going with
be.
Miami.
Give me the Canes. All right.
He said, "Raising those canes."
I'm raising Canes. But, I mean, I got, to be honest with you, I got my Miami winning the ACC. I think they're
Oh,
going to
I do
be.
too. But this
I
obviously
think,
won't affect the ACC. So
no, I'm just
I
saying,
think
like,
they can lose
I'm just
this and
throwing that
then
out there.
get on a run. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say I agree at least with that they are winning the ACC. But to me, this is gonna be one of their only losses, and the only other one I think would be I can't even remember off the top of my head.
They ain't losing. I'm telling you, this
Maybe
offense,
it was Virginia Tech or something, or I don't know. I can't
they
remember.
got Cam Ward, Damian Martinez. Damian Martinez, people forget, is a absolute dog. Okay, he's about to run all over Florida. All right, and Cam Ward, same as well. He's about to sling that rock and run the rock all over him. I just don't see Florida. The Swamp is one of the most craziest places in college football. Everybody know if you're a college football fan, you know that Gainesville gets rowdy. I just don't think. I just don't. I think it's going to be a close game. I just like Miami a little bit better. I just like the offensive power on their side of the ball more than I do on Florida's. So
Okay.
I think it's going to be a close game,
Yeah.
like a. Oh, I couldn't even give you a score. That's how torn I am between this game because, like I'm with y'all. I want to see Florida win the first game, but I just think this Miami team might have a little bit too much power on the offensive side for Florida to handle.
No, I get it. It's definitely going to be a fun one. I can't wait for that one as well. But to go into our next topic is really just going to be us, circling back, officially confirming our week 1 best bets off the top of our head. And the first one I have, the best bet of the week, number one for me is going to be Colorado, North Dakota State over 58.5 points. Now, right now, like I said, it probably moved up a little, but I would still tease it back down to 58.5. I would even probably consider it at 59.5. But once we start going up in the 60s, I do think we'll be in the 60s, but I don't know how confident I am in betting like a 60 something number. But I will say over 58.5. And then my next best bet of the week, I will go with Cody on this, and that's West Virginia to cover the spread. If you get it at 8.5, fine. But if you got in a little bit earlier, 10.5 or 9.5 or something like that, then that's good, even better. So that's my second best bet. And then my third best bet is going to be Georgia minus 13.5 to cover that spread against Clemson. And but I also would say my honorable mention is the USC plus 4.5. Or if you want to, like I said, I got them winning the game. So if you want to be a little risky, go with the money line.
I like those. I respect those.
Yep.
I'd hammer down on them boys.
Got to. So what you
Give
think?
me the total points on that right now. Thank you. Cash out.
Well, let us know, Mr. Coes. What kind of locks you got?
I mean, I got like you said, I'm big on West Virginia, so I got West Virginia plus 8.5 right now. Or if it changes, it could. I
Yeah.
mean, still
Do
got
you
a
think
few
you
days.
think they're winning? So I mean, really, you might even just want to say screw and go the money line, right? But your
Exactly.
safe play is like the spread, so
Yeah.
just in case they lose. But
Yeah, I would definitely say that. My second is Texas A&M minus 2.5 last time I saw, and they win. So like same thing with West Virginia, but
yep,
they're just favored. Texas A&M is just favored because they're at home, minus 2.5.
yep.
But give me Texas A&M in that. And then my last one is the game we just talked about, and I got Miami minus same thing as Texas A&M minus 2.5,
Okay.
and they win the game.
All right. And Seth, what's yours? Get your locks, man.
Oh man. Uh, I'm kind of liking the Georgia minus 13.5 spread.
Yep.
Like you were saying earlier, you could see them possibly winning by 2 touchdowns, but
Yep.
it's a little sketchy, obviously, because
I feel
last time
good
they
about
played
it
it was
now.
a defensive battle.
Yeah.
But obviously it's totally different teams now.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how that goes. And I like just straight betting Florida to win,
Yeah. Just a little money
beating
line.
Miami.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right.
I
Well.
also could sprinkle in this kind of crazy, but the Ohio State spread of 48.5, just destroying them.
That's actually insane.
That's wild.
Sweating a
I do
48
kind
and a
of like
half
that.
point spread is unbelievable.
That's crazy to try and win by 49 points.
I mean, it's probably gonna happen.
I
So
mean, I could definitely see it.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely feel like that could
That's like
happen.
the one game I could see where it's just like that, and probably the Bama game. But the Bama game's not as crazy with the spread being minus
Yeah,
31.5, which that seems easily doable.
yeah. So right now, if you were to just because I'm curious to parlay Georgia minus 13 and a half, West Virginia plus 8.5, and what did I have? I want to do Colorado State or not? Yeah, North Dakota State and Colorado over, and I did what 58 and a half. So I gotta move it. Okay, so over 58 and a half. That three leg parlay is plus 531 odds. So if you put a little 10 on it, you win your little $63, a little $53 in profit. But that's kind of
Mhm.
what I'm thinking. I might just straight bet some of these to be safe. But if I did a little parlay off the top of my head, that's probably what it would look like, just to give you guys a
Yeah,
little insight
I
on
kind
that.
of like that.
But yeah, so we can move on real quick. Just touch on some NFL news. We don't have too much to talk about other than the same stuff we've been mentioning.
Oh
Obviously,
man.
today Steelers named Russell Wilson to be the starter, like we all speculated. I
And
think
I
no
love it.
surprise, no surprise to that.
No surprise. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, little insider scoop here. Apparently, Mike Tomlin said at a press conference or at practice, he said, my friend Raheem Morris
Yeah, I
is
saw that.
going to be expecting to see some Justin Fields action, even with Russ as the starter.
Yeah, I
He
mean
said
for
there's too
sure.
much talent for him to just be sitting on the bench,
Yeah,
and I love it. I'm
yeah,
I'm
they're
curious
definitely
to
gonna
see,
play him.
is he better return? No, he better not return
He's
no
not gonna. He's
kicks.
gonna just come in and probably run a few plays like
Read
scripted.
options maybe or
I don't
something.
know. They might try to let him throw it deep. Who
Yeah, a little
knows?
play action something.
I could
I
see it.
like it. I honestly love Russell being the starter.
I mean,
Just because we
it's a
have
safe
no
play.
O line. Like if we're to throw a quarterback out there with our O line banged up like it is,
Yeah.
just let Russ do it, dude.
So
Like
if he
just
if
let
he goes down, then it's like
then
okay,
it's a I mean, dude, he was already
it is what it
he's
is.
edging towards the
Yeah.
end of his career there.
Can we remove the graphic?
Oh
Just
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want
yeah, yeah. You're right.
for
You're right. You're
clipping
right.
purposes if we're gonna clip some of these. But then to move on, obviously we talked about this a lot. Is CD Lamb officially signs with the Cowboys for
It's
excuse
about
me
time.
$34 million a year, 4 year deal.
Thank
And then
God.
now the only other wide receivers that we're waiting on is obviously Brandon Ayuk and Jamar Chase, who Jamar Chase was at practice but was there 13 minutes late and was wearing street clothes. But he's a year early to get paid. He's kind of, like obviously
Boo.
he doesn't need the deal right now, but it would be better for both parties. Obviously, if you pay somebody sooner, you kind of avoid, you know, overpaying like the Cowboys just did. If the Cowboys paid CeeDee Lamb a year ago, they probably only could have paid him 27 million. Now they got to pay him $7 million more a year. So
Yep.
that's going to happen with the Bengals if they screw around with Jamar Chase. But to say all that, he should play. And then Brandon Ayuk obviously is reported to maybe be practicing soon. Hopefully, that's what John Lynch, the GM, said. But another guy on the team, Trent Williams, the best tackle in the league. He's getting up there in age. He wants a new deal, but it looks
Bring
like
him over.
they haven't figured that out either. So you're missing two of your best players on offense. So the Niners, I'm getting a little nervous because those are some key pieces, especially Brock Purdy doesn't have his left tackle. Like that's a little scary.
That
So
is, and I mean it's scary for Christian McCaffrey too.
yeah, I'm just worried about pass blocking though, because I mean, really, if he gets boomed, yeah, I mean, who's your backup at this point? There's no good backup. There's no
No,
Sam
not
Darnold,
too
Trey
many.
Lance, no nothing. I mean,
Nope.
I think you're down to just like your standard kind of like run of the mill backup. So I mean, you're gonna be screwed if you don't sign one of those guys. I mean, if both of them don't sign, whatever. But if you can't miss out on both, I mean, you got to sign at least one of them. Is what I'm trying to
At
say.
least
And
one.
I think you would rather have IU because he's younger, but at the same time, you could argue that Trent Williams is more important because he is the best tackle in the league
Yeah.
and he's a guy that protects your quarterback. So,
Personally, I
anyways,
think Trent Williams is the better play.
he is the better for sure, but it's also like, he's older. I don't know how much he's going to want to play, but at least for this upcoming future, you gotta protect Purdy. But to say all that, another team that is still in the news is the Patriots. They have yet to name their starting quarterback. It's obviously between third overall pick Drake May and then the vet Jacoby Brissett. I think Drake May is basically 100% better as far as what we've seen in the preseason. Drake May looks a lot better. He just had a great game last preseason game. I believe he was like 13 to 20, 130 yards, a touchdown. He looked really good. As a guy that has Drake May in Dynasty, I was happy. I don't know if the Patriots ultimately will play him to start the season because they do have a road game at Cincinnati. They're going to be kind of nervous about, the health of their young quarterback, I'm sure, throwing him out there to the Wolves. So I wouldn't be surprised
True.
if they just let Brissett start and then eventually ease him in, and then Drake May can take over the team halfway through the season. But
Yeah.
also they could just be tanking. Like we just want Brissett out there because he's not good, and like we'll just lose a lot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not a bad idea. Get a
it's
No,
better
I mean,
draft pick, I guess.
yeah,
yeah.
they're rebuilding. So I mean, this might as well get the number one overall pick, and then
Might as
with
well.
that you could pull like what the Bears did, and you could trade it because you already have Drake May. You don't need a quarterback. If you don't love one of the
Get some
guys, like
draft capital.
yeah, if you don't want to tackle or a wide receiver or something, I mean, you could just trade a bunch of picks, or trade that pick for a bunch of picks. So, I mean, I could see
True.
that. But either way, Patriots aren't going to be that good this year.
No.
But we're going to
Nah.
do one other thing to end the show, and that's just our official three hot takes going into this fantasy season. We've kind of talked about this before a couple different ways, but we just want to officially say here's our three. Like we're living on this, dying on this hill, on some little outlandish takes in fantasy. So if anybody wants to start, let me know.
Oh,
Oh,
I'll take the reins.
yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, man.
Okay.
Oh, God. Here we go. Let's hear these booty takes.
Let me tell you what's happening. Number
Right.
one, Josh Jacobs, top 5 running back. Let me tell you
Mm,
why. I got reasons to my pick.
Okay.
okay.
Number one, better team in general. Packers, Raiders, come on now. We know.
We know.
Pretty obviously who's better, okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Number two, better O-line. Who
Okay.
was he running behind? Couldn't name a guy.
That's true.
Couldn't.
Don't know him. Third, it's Josh Jakey.
Yep.
Feed him the ball.
Yep.
I think I could add a fourth reason to that.
Yep.
What's up?
AJ Dillon on IR.
See? Thank you,
There you go.
co-host.
Who else is gonna? Yeah, of course, man. Who else is gonna tote that rock?
I don't
Nobody.
hate that. I don't hate
Josh Jakey. Number two, CJ Stroud, top 3 QB.
that. All these
Okay, I
guys
mean,
on this
that's not-
fantasy team.
It's not a hot take, but
That's
I'm
not
rolling
too
with it.
hot of a take.
Could be number one.
Yeah, I mean he was QB9 last season, so
Let's
Yeah.
bump it up to let's plus 8 on that. Number one.
okay. You're crazy.
Not top 3, he's one.
He ain't doing it. He can't run, so therefore no.
He can run a little bit. He can get out.
Mm-mm.
He'll be okay.
Mm-mm.
Little sneaker sneak,
Mm-mm.
Little 5-yard dippy. Little
Mm-mm.
slidey. All right, number 3. Dalton Kincaid, top 3 tight end.
Dude,
I
this
mean,
is-
I actually kind of
no,
like that
I
one.
agree. I like that one
I
and the
kinda
Josh
like that one.
Jacobs one.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
because I mean, who else is Josh Allen finna throw to?
The only one I don't like is I don't think CJ Stroud could be top 3 just because in fantasy, if you're not running the ball,
Hey,
it's hard to be
hey.
top 3.
Y'all
That's
remember
all,
the
though.
2007 fantasy? Probably not. But
2007.
2007?
Tom Brady had like 55 touchdowns or something.
So you
50
think that's what's
touchdowns.
about to happen?
That's about
I
to
mean,
happen.
I mean, with his weapons
I
on
With
the
the
team, I
weapons,
could
he,
kind of
he
see
only
it.
had like 24 last year.
It don't
If he
matter.
doubles that, that's
could
insane.
triple it.
Right, that's crazy.
Triple
If
it?
he triples it, Cody.
No, I'm just kidding.
How you gonna get 70
Nah.
touchdowns?
Hey,
They ain't gonna run the ball. That's how.
no more Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, where you at?
Joe Mixon. Joe
Joe
Mixon
Mixon's
gonna
about to
catch a
be
pass.
sad.
Joe Mixon ain't gonna be mixing.
Mm-mm. He's not mixing
He
nothing.
ain't gonna be mixing.
He ain't gonna be mixing nothing. But Dalton Kincaid, I think he could easily be top 3 tight end just with, like y'all said, no, there's nobody on that team. Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman. He needs to develop. Curtis Samuel.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
I
a
can
good
see that. I
player.
can see that.
But Dalton Kincaid, big body, gonna
Big
be getting
body,
the
yeah.
receptions.
Big body, big body, big body.
He's gonna be snagging them things.
That's what's
Snag
gonna
'em up.
happen. And little backstory behind that: all these 3 players are on my fantasy team.
Wow.
A
Cha-ching.
little backstory
Who
there.
who would have guessed?
Never would have thunk it.
Hey.
Oh man.
That's the hot takes. He's hoping for the
Oh,
best, ladies and gentlemen.
breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Malik Neighbors is changing his number from 9 to number 1, and it was
Wow, that's
by
sick.
it was formerly worn by legend Ray Flaherty, who had his jersey number retired, but they unretired it to give it to Malik Neighbors.
That's crazy.
Yo, that's actually unretiring a jersey
Unretired his
to
jersey
That's
to
crazy.
give it to the rookie.
with permission of him, the legend Ray Flaherty. So
Okay, so I thought they just said,
Ray,
"Ray, gone."
Fuck
he
you.
probably was like, I want number 1, and they said, oh, it's retired. We'll ask him, and then he's like, yeah, you can have it.
That's kind of crazy though. Are they gonna like?
Kinda dope.
I mean, I guess you can't really re-retire a jersey.
Probably not, because then what happens if Malik Neighbors just has the craziest career ever?
Or what if he
Are they
doesn't
gonna
have?
retire his jersey?
What if he just doesn't have a career?
Yep.
Like
Okay,
he just
so-
doesn't. He just gets hurt. Every
Get a little
time.
dark, okay? Let's
My
get
bad.
back in the
My
sunshine.
bad.
What if he just doesn't even have a career?
I mean, they just
Gosh.
unretired him for nothing at that point,
Malik
which is
Neighbors?
just crazy.
Oh man.
Malik, don't listen to the pod this week.
Malik,
Yeah, don't listen, buddy.
just don't listen, man.
Sorry.
Moving on back to the 3 official fantasy hot takes. I don't really know if Seth wants to go or not, but you can go.
Okay. Oh, I'm sticking with my hot take I had at the beginning of the season. Number 1 will happen. Mark my words.
Oh my.
Justin Jefferson will not have over 1,000 yards. He will not even be a top 10 wide receiver.
Okay.
Mark my words.
Would
I'm putting
Jordan
that
Addison
down.
being out too?
Jordan Addison's not out.
No, he's not.
No. He's back.
It don't matter who's in and who's out. He ain't getting it.
Never mind then.
That's just
He ain't
crazy,
getting it.
man.
Hey, we're doing hot takes. I'm
All
gonna
right.
throw them hot takes out
Stick
there
beside
like
him.
a hot pocket, boy.
Mhm.
All right. My second hot take is Jaden Daniels wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm.
They just signed Noah Brown literally right before our podcast. Before we went live here. And I just think he could cook, man.
He could.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't get me wrong. I
that.
think Caleb. It's going to be a battle between him and Caleb Williams, but I don't know, man. I have faith in the little underdog there for that one.
Okay.
I like that.
And
I like that
then-
a lot.
This might be a little biased on this last one. But I got George Pickens as a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah. That's where
Easy money.
That's where we're gonna have to end the show.
Guess who has him on his team too?
Oh my god!
This guy.
Now we gotta listen to this.
He's gonna be a dog.
Pickens is
And-
Tell me about it.
I can't lie. I just don't know how I feel about that, man. Arthur Smith.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm worried about. But it's George Pickens, so like you just throw the ball up to him and
that's
he'll
what
just
I
get
thought. But it didn't
Thank you,
work
Seth.
like that.
it. Yeah, of course.
Great take. Great take.
Yeah, thanks for taking him from me
Yep.
You're welcome.
in fantasy. Yeah, and I got an honorable mention here.
Yep.
Um,
Say it.
hot take, pretty hot. Maybe not. I could see the Titans making the playoffs.
Oh, this is not a fantasy take. This is just a normal take.
Is this a normal take? I was gonna say I could see the Titans and the Falcons making the playoffs.
We are. We are.
Just-
All right.
I mean, dude, I know it's preseason, whatever, but Will Levis cooking like that in the preseason was kind of nasty to see. And if he can just do that with DeAndre, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, like I feel like they've got a pretty decent shot.
No, I definitely like the Titans more than a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Call me Journey because I don't stop believing. Okay.
Everybody always thinks the Titans are just like the retirement home for players,
It might be.
and they
We're
might be.
not.
But
Okay.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see this year.
Just because Tennessee's nice, we got. I mean, Come on.
It's all right, bud. You know.
Come on. We're gonna make the playoff.
We're gonna make the play, y'all.
We gonna make the playoffs.
All right. Well,
And then
we'll
the
see about
Steelers
that.
are finishing 12-5.
What the? All right. You should have just stopped.
We're like 5-12.
And we'll also make it to the Super Bowl. I'm just kidding. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We
12-5 is so crazy.
I'm just saying, buddy. Be
All
ready.
right, whatever.
Hayden,
Week
can you
1,
top
we're starting
that?
off hot.
So,
Yeah, man. Let's hear your booty
Anyways,
takes.
Number 1. So my hot take in fantasy, number 1 hot take this season is I kind of want to do a little differently, not like just specifically one player for this one. So I'm gonna say right now, how do I want to word this? Okay, I guess I'll just start with this. I will say Anthony Richardson is going to be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy. That's
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll say this one
Hey,
first.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that. If he plays all 16 games,
Yeah,
He's gonna be top 5.
I think he could definitely be top
Yeah.
3, if not 1.
I'm looking at it
because
I don't know about the health, but if he does play most of the games, misses maybe one, I do think he finishes number 1 because that rushing upside is elite. Because it's like Jalen Hurts and Cam Newton and all that kind of stuff, even Lamar-esque in the way like he can just run the ball. I feel like that plus the coaching. That's Shane Steichen, who was the coach for the Eagles whenever they went to the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. Had his best year. I could see him turning up. Obviously, love the pieces on the Colts. Y'all have heard me talk about it a lot. I know this is now becoming like a more popular take to draft him high and all that kind of stuff. But I do think he finishes number 1 because this is a year where Josh Allen might take a little dip. Jalen Hurts will be good. I do think he's up there to possibly number 1. Lamar, obviously, but with Derek being there, maybe takes away some of the running. And then Mahomes will be really great, but still he doesn't run as much as these guys. So I'm going to go with the running quarterback with a lot of upside here, and I'm going to go with that, Anthony Richardson. So that's my first hot take. And then my next hot take is that Devontae Smith will have more fantasy points than A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's what I don't need.
That one is just specifically on, for some reason, the way I've seen the reports about Kellen Moore's offense is that he's loving Devontae Smith, and the way they're using him is great. And I could see him kind of being like 1A, 1B officially this year, no more 1 and 2. And I really think Devontae Smith could be the 1 a lot of the times. And I think that him and Jalen Hurts' chemistry is great. Obviously, AJ Brown's awesome. But I will say it's just slightly a gut feeling I got. Devontae Smith goes over whatever numbers that
that's
he
a great take. That's a great take.
That is a great take. Not really
something I've been thinking about. And then the last take I got shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but I do think Bijan Robinson finishes as the number 1 overall player in fantasy football.
Great take.
I love that take.
Yeah.
Great take.
For 2 guys that now have Bijan in some leagues. So.
Yep.
And a guy that's a Falcons fan. So it's great for all of us.
It's great for all of us here. What a way to end the hot takes.
Well, I'm here.
But I did see though y'all's offensive coordinator was talking about putting Tyler Algier.
Yeah, but that's
who?
Our coach was just saying they're going to use Tyler Algier, in a significant role this year, but that's just coach speak. I feel like, and I
feel like it is too. I hope
like
it is.
Slot receiver.
No,
you ain't taking Bijan out the game.
They're not using him as a slot receiver.
A slot receiver.
But he's just saying like he's going to be important, and I do think he will be, but it's only just to give Bijan a break. Like it's not going to be
fullback.
Like Bijan. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't mind that. In my Madden franchise, that's what I have Algier. I put him at fullback.
I like that.
Just to block for Bijan.
You already know.
But I just think Bijan's got so much upside. I think Bijan's going to be fairly healthy, so I don't see him missing too many games, but hopefully he plays them all. And then the passing upside's crazy. I do think Kirk obviously doesn't run the ball, so all the running is going to be from our running backs, so that's always a good thing. Plus,
that is very true.
Bijan led the team in what was it last year? Receiving touchdowns, I'm pretty sure, with 4. So I mean, wasn't a lot, but I do think now with the passing quarterback, he could possibly lead the team again in receiving touchdowns, but I don't think he will. I'm sure Drake London will do that. But I will say Bijan, I'm thinking still has 2,000 total yards. I don't know if he get 2,000 rushing, but I could see him getting 1,500 rushing and 500 receiving for sure.
Oh
And
yeah.
I like
anywhere from 20 to 25 touchdowns. I don't think it's crazy.
I like it a lot. I really hope it happens,
I do too.
but not week 1.
No, of course,
No,
for your
it's happening week
Steelers.
1.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
I can't wait. We're gonna be there. Obviously, can't wait for that. And I'm gonna be back in Tuscaloosa this weekend. So obviously thrilled to watch some football. But yeah, this is it for the show today and for this week. So we'll be back on the road next week. I'll be from my house in Alabama, so I will be on, but just in a different background. And we're gonna be talking obviously the games that just happened from this first week of college football, and then we'll be previewing the Ravens and Chiefs Week 1 game on Thursday
That's
night
so
next
lit.
week. So
My quarterback.
we're a week away from that, so we can't wait, man.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
I
But
can't wait, dude.
thank you guys for joining, obviously, and stay tuned, stay locked in. Football season is upon us, and we are officially ready to roll, boys.
Let's
I'm
get
ready.
it, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
But yeah, thanks for joining us this off season. It was a little slow at times, but we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we think it's going to pick up. We're going to have a bunch of good times and good clips to post, and
Hell yeah.
can't wait to see what the season has in store. But hopefully we can win some money. We'll talk about next week on the show a little bit of some future bets that we might have and some other ones that we're going to be cooking up, hopefully. So, anyways, can't wait for that. But
Money spreader. Yes,
Cody's feeling it. I know he got
I'm ready.
locks to share next week, but we'll have time for that. So don't worry. And appreciate everybody once again, and we're out.
See you
Thank you,
guys.
See you guys.
You're
Thank you.